Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. As today we get to know our newest companion, Ulbrig, a Sarkorian out of time. Of course, given our recent flurry of guests, we have no shortage of other things to do too, but given that this is brand new content, I think we'll start here. See what the new DLC has to offer. Kaiser baby, could you not stand between me and the microphone? That would be fantastic. Thank you, sweetheart. Right, so, Ulbrig. Cheers! Ulbrig takes a drink from the flask he is holding. I don't know what this is, a dream, a phase illusion, or I popped into another world. But you people sure know how to brew good beer. Well, hey, I'm glad you like it. It was a weirdly high priority for us for some reason. Hey, you mind if I ask you a few questions? Oh, that's right. I had a question of my own to ask you. Explain to me, plain and simple, back when we first met. What was that all about? How did I end up in the fortress with all the books? Why did I wake up right when you came? This is horse feathers. Horse feathers. Fortress with all the books. That would either be the cathedral, or more likely, the library. The Black Library, back in Canabris? Sorry, buddy. I know about as much as you do. Probably less, honestly. Mysteries upon mysteries. But someone has to know, right? Someone got me into this mess. And when I learn who it was, oh, they won't be too happy. Right, so, what was it you wanted to ask about? Well, why don't you tell me what Sarkis was like, before all this happened? I'll tell you this. Sarkis isn't a country. Sarkis is a whole world. Just imagine, a lynx standing at the edge of snowy woods in the north, perch splashing in the Selen to the east, furry bumblebees buzzing over the blooming hills of the south. And everywhere you look, there are people, the likes of which you won't find anywhere in the world. They are the bravest in battle and the fleetest in dance. Hundreds of tribes, each with its own legends, songs, heroes, gods, and spirits. Now, you tell me, could a land like that really have perished because of a few grasshoppers? I won't believe it. Ever. Alright, now your turn. Where do you hail from? Who's your tribe? Oh, interesting. I have not really given that much thought because it has never come up before. I think in the past we just sort of deflected, saying that he had a troubled past and that he didn't remember a lot of it, so I guess the simplest thing to do is to just keep leaning into that. No one's ever really asked me that. I remember waking up in Canabris and then getting into this whole crusade thing, but before that, nothing. Like I just started existing in that moment. That's rough. That's like having a whole chunk of your soul just torn out. I hope it all comes back to you. Try putting a spruce under your pillow. They say it's very good for your memory. Yeah, funny you should mention souls being torn out. So you're from the Oles clan, huh? Can't say I'm familiar. Our clan is one of the oldest. Our history goes back to the time before Sarkis was settled, when our ancestors lived in the mountains in the far north. Once their mountain home had become too small for them, they went down to the untrodden hills and forests of the south, drove out the monsters and the giants, and founded Sarkis. Even back then, the Olesks were the first into every battle and the first to build a settlement on their land. People wrote so many songs about our deeds that if I were to start singing them all to you now, we'd be stuck here for a good month. Who routed the Orcish invaders? Who seduced the Fey Queen and stole her tiara? Whose apples are the size of a hair? And whose cider made from those apples can knock a bear out? That's right, it's all us. The Olesks. Just a quick side note, but I wouldn't really call the land untrodden if it was already occupied when you got there. Ha ha ha! Oh, you're a laugh. You're saying giants are people? Have you ever seen one with your own eyes? They can't even speak our tongue. They just growl and fart. They may look like humans, but they're dumber than frogs. All they know is eating and fighting. They feast on human flesh, I'll have you know. So don't feel bad for those freaks. Our ancestors were right to cut them down. Gotta say, Ulbrig, this is a really ugly side of you, but sure. So, what was your role with the Olesks exactly? I was the chieftain, and not by right of blood like in some tribes. It takes more than being born in the right family to lead the Olesks. You have to earn that right from our divine patron. Eirvar, the heavenly griffin, chose me. Ulbrig chuckles mirthlessly. Except as you can see, it didn't do my clan much good. The chieftain's duty is to be with their people, in peace and in war, in life and in death. And what did I do? Abandon them. There's no two ways about it. I missed everything. I slept through everything. Eirvar, that's I can't say I'm familiar with that name. Eirvar, the griffin whose beak has marked the sun and whose talons have raked the moon. Ulbrig crosses his arms in a ritual gesture. He is the ancient protector of our clan. From each generation, he chooses one who is worthy of wielding his power and leading his tribe. But ever since I woke up here, he hasn't spoken to me once. No prophetic dreams, no answers, no signs. His power is still with me, so he must be alive. Then why is he silent? He shakes his red mane, helplessly. Oh, that is interesting. That's probably why I don't recognize the name, because it's a god that's not active anymore in modern Golarion. Possibly trapped or compromised in some way. I mean, as Ulbrig said, the fact that he still has powers implies that he's not dead. Alright, thanks. This has been very intriguing. I'm always up for a chat, especially when there's still beer to be drunk. Oh, so pretty much always then. So, hey, what do you think of my awesome god powers? Pretty cool, huh? I don't like them. Can't deny that they're useful, but this is the way of things I'm accustomed to. Every power must have a name. The powers that druids and shifters have are fair. Gods and spirits grant them to us, and only for good reason. First, you have to earn your power, prove you're worthy of it, show you're grateful for it. Then you can start using it. But this? Who gave it to us? For what purpose? What do we have to give in return? It's one mystery after another. I'll up and tell you what I think. This power feels a lot like ensorcelry. In our lands, people could get sent to Threshold for toying with powers like these. For everyone's safety. Props for using the word ensorcelry. That is a fantastic word. Aside from that, some interesting introspection there. I mean, obviously, at this point, we've got a pretty good idea that Aurilu is the source of our powers, but that shows some pretty uncanny accuracy from Ulbrig's off-the-cuff remark, his analysis of the situation. Alright, now that we know Ulbrig a little better, let us embark upon his quest. Again, we obviously have other things around town waiting for us too, but I am very keen on checking out this new content. Oh, I suppose we should take a quick gander at his character sheet, but honestly, pretty straightforward. It turns out the Shifter is essentially like the feral war priests, the ones who grow claws. Or maybe like the feral mutagen alchemists, minus the spellcasting capabilities. They're pretty straightforward brawlers, with damage that scales as they gain levels, and various other powers based on whatever totem animal they worship. In Ulbrig's case, he's pretty much all about claws, the occasional beak attack, he grows wings at a certain point, and he can wild shape into a griffin for a number of minutes per day equal to his level. I will say, his AC seems exceptionally low. I do have some concerns about his staying power in combat, but with the right buffs, we should be able to keep him propped up. And that aside, we'll have much stronger party members for him to lean on when necessary. We're only really going to be using him for his personal quest stuff anyway. That said, we do have to clear a space for Ulbrig. And considering what he's bringing to the table, I guess the best bet there would be to swap out Aurilu. In the brief testing I did with him, his biggest issue is his lack of mobility. So, I mean, he's not going to be straying very far from the party, generally speaking. Obviously, he's not range support, but I figure he could make a good backline defender. Okay, so we are headed to Currant, Glen, which is actually shockingly close. It's right over here, across the river from Heaven's Edge, which, again, implies that this was Act 2 content. Oh, random encounter. Yeah, sure, why not? That'll be a nice little warm-up, and it'll give me a chance to straighten up Ulbrig's hotbar. Ash Giant, no big deal. Alright, give me one sec. Let me set up some basic buffs. Get Ulbrig's various abilities straightened out real quick. Normally I'd skip this part, but we'll run through it manually, on screen this time. Just so you can get a better idea of what we're working with here.
Don't know how I ended up here, but here I am.
Hey, he's got a voice. Good for him. Okay, first things first, we need to make sure his claws are active. Otherwise, he'll just get himself killed trying to punch everyone. And there we go. Simple enough. Like I said, it's a surprisingly straightforward class.
Can we retreat already?
25 damage. Not terrible. Though obviously not nearly as much of a powerhouse as a mounted character. You know what he'd really benefit from is something like Greater, Enduring, and Large. I should have prepped that before we came out here. Rude. But now, where are you hiding? Ah, I see. We'll get the casters on that guy. There we go. Thank you, Ember. And we're done. Let's patch Ulbrig.
Oh, skip the pleasantries.
So yeah, based on what little I've seen of him thus far, Ulbrig's not bad. He just faces the usual limitations of a non-mounted melee fighter, which is to say, the severe lack of mobility, and that opening round where he only gets a single attack while charging. I think he does gain Pounce at some point, and there are other ways that we could theoretically improve his situation. Enlarge, for example, would help, as would getting him in lighter armor. If we find some really nice leather or padded, that'll help. especially since shifters apparently add their wisdom bonus to AC as long as they're wearing non-metallic armor. Currant Glen, the small Sarkorian village that was home to the Oles clan in Ulbrig's time. More than a century has passed since then. Alright, officially entering unknown territory. I have no idea what lies ahead of us. Let's hit the pause button real quick. I'll set up a full battery of buffs. And we'll see what's what. We'll be right back. And we're back. Buffs are set. Ulbrig's up to a more respectable 30-something AC. Let us proceed. Scroll of See Invisibility just inside the gate. That's telling. But how? Who could have? Ulbrig gazes at the time-ravaged remnants in confusion. I visited here just a month ago. Everyone was alive. But now... Ulbrig, buddy, I keep telling you, it's been over 100 years. Things have changed. Not that 100 years nonsense again. I don't believe it. It's impossible. This is all fake. An illusion conjured up by Oglins to hide the real village away from prying eyes. Ulbrig's eyes madly dash from one decrepit wreck to another. We must search everything, find the people, learn where they are being kept, free them, and snap the horns off the puxies that did it. Yeah, we will absolutely do that thing that you just said. There's nothing but ruins, bones, and ash. It seems the settlement's entire population was wiped out. We've got corpses. Oh. Well, hello there. See, War Chief? Someone still lives here after all. Must be a spirit. And it doesn't look hostile. Shades of Orso, the bear spirit from Winter Sun. Hopefully in slightly better condition than Orso was. I wonder how Winter Sun would have played out if we had had Ulbrig back then. That would have been interesting. This isn't what I expected to see here. Strange, thick pus is oozing out of the corpse. It must be the reason the tree is covered in corruption. Getting rid of the corpse would be a good idea. It will stop the decay from spreading. You take the corpse down effortlessly. Thank you, War Chief. Bit of a load off my chest. Oh, and look at that. They worked the broken gear from Through the Ashes into the main campaign. Goody. I look forward to finding big piles of literal vendor trash. Ghostly shapes flutter in the air. It appears that the spirits of dead Sarkorians are still lingering in this place. Hold up, something's not right. You sense clearly that someone is using an invisibility spell to hide from you here. Which explains the scroll we found on the way in. Very intriguing. Perhaps there's somewhere they want us to go? You sure that's a good idea, Ulbrig? Happy lives leave no spirits, that much we know. What exactly a spirit needs, though, is something even an experienced shaman can't always work out. Let's take a good look around this place. Maybe we'll find some kind of clue. Yeah, we should keep moving. Fair enough, War Chief. Let's keep moving.
Uh-oh, they'll regret this.
Or we will be immediately attacked by a Howling Spectre. Hello there. Huh. And here I thought the implication was that the ghost, quote-unquote, was actually just an invisible person, but there are also ghosts. I am getting mixed messages here. Skeletal sneak, huh? Hi. Oh, yep, I see you too. These corpses look suspicious. Be careful with them. I have a feeling these aren't the kind that lie quiet. Yeah, you noticed, huh? Good eye, Ulbrig. One out.
Out of my sight!
That's two. Who do we have left? Hold. There you are.
Oh, thank you for amusing me.
And we're good. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that this particular location was supposed to be like level 8 or 9, so we're a little overpowered for it. But it's still very interesting. I love exploring these handcrafted dungeons or combat environments. I'm already way more invested than I was with, like, the Treasures of the Midnight Isles. This used to be a passage leading to another part of the village, but it was destroyed in a landslide. This building is larger and more solidly built than the rest. It must have been the house of an elder or chieftain. Yeah, this very much feels like a level 9 or 10 adventure. A lot of target numbers in the 20s. Strange charm. A peculiar-looking stone with runes inscribed on it. Okay. Blessed amulet. An amulet inscribed with runes. +2 full plate. We'll take that. +3 with our trickster thing. Might toss that to So-So. He's still rocking chain. Can we get lights up? Yeah, that didn't really help, but thanks. Oh. Cute.
This is my kind of work.
Pretty. I do like the scenery. Get back! Do not disturb the repose of the damned! Leave! This valley of sorrow and grief is no place for the living. The spirit's voice resonates with pain. Any particular reason I should leave, or... Leave! It hurts too much to sense life near me. I'll tell you nothing! And that is your right, I suppose, but it's going to be really hard for me to help you if you don't tell me why you're here. The spirit lets out a desperate wail that turns into weeping. You enjoy tormenting me? Hear it then. I brought my party here a long time ago. We were all young and full of life. We laughed. Oh, why did I ever bring them here? My vision showed me the way to this village. This place smelled of death. It reeked of death, but I didn't stop. I believed we would purify this land and it would flourish again. But instead, we're just rotting in its soil, knowing no rest. And it's my fault. Mine alone. The spirit's voice dissolves into unintelligible laments and curses. Interesting. So if we followed the angel path, we could probably resolve this pretty easily, but as it stands, based on the journal pop-up, it sounds like we have to put his companions to rest first. Then we should be able to come back and put him to rest as well. Which I assume would let us take this stuff without being attacked. Lesser Quicken Rod. Worth 13,000 gold. Alright, so we will keep an eye out for his restless companions. Which might actually be these guys? Ah. I see. So, Ulbrig's voice is deceptively calm, and only the vein pulsing at his shaved temple betrays his true feelings. He slowly looks around the basement, breathes in the fetid air, runs a hand along the wall, and studies the grime clinging to his fingers. So, Ulbrig, you said you've been here before. Did you know about this? No, of course not. How could I have? I thought it was just a place for storing things. You want to maybe shed some insight on what we're looking at here? It's a shrine, War Chief, and not one you would build to honor the gods. See this altar? It wasn't no goat kids they butchered here. Ulbrig clenches and unclenches his fist, his fingers turning into sharp claws for a brief moment. A vile cult of some man-eating filth, right under our feet. Looks like there was a fight here, one that didn't go well for either side. A slaughter, yeah. First the ritual kind, followed by the regular sword. So it wasn't Oglins that put the village to the torch. It was people. They sold themselves out to the Oglins and raised arms against their own. So you think your kin from this village were worshipping demons? Ulbrig scowls, his gaze roaming between you, the bones scattered on the floor, and the blood-streaked altar. In the end, he stubbornly shakes his head. No, I do not believe this. It cannot be. They were my kin. We drank from the same flagon. Surely I would have noticed if they were up to this foul business. I mean, if not them, then who? Who snuck into their village and built a giant sacrificial altar right beneath it? I'm not seeing a lot of other explanations here, buddy. It must have been outsiders of some kind. Heck, maybe they weren't even from Sargeras. The border's a stone's throw away from here. They came brandishing their cult, killed everyone, and built this rotten thing in the cellar to shift the blame to our people. That's what happened. Well, just you wait, you blackguards! Ulbrig shakes his fist at the invisible strangers. You're sure about that, Ulbrig? You don't think there's any other, simpler explanation? What makes you think anything here is obvious? We're up to our necks in oglins, demons, fae, angels, and all kinds of things that go bump in the night. You know how fond they are of messing with mortals, don't you? No, you can't trust your eyes. You've got to follow your heart. And my heart is telling me our people would never do something like this. So you're straight up telling me that your people would never worship demons? Never, never, ever? I mean, folks worshipped all kinds of things. Ulbrig pensively tugs at a lock of red hair. We're not Mendevians. We don't teach others which belief is right. Of course, most stuck to the gods and spirits of their homeland, but if the otherworldly powers called and you answered, worship Pelura's frozen backside or a puxy on a flying broomstick if you like. Nobody'll bat an eye unless you start pestering others with your faith. There was a big commotion in Sargeras, as I recall, when that troublemaker Eridan showed up. Back then, some god of crickets or grasshoppers had gained quite a following, can't remember which. Those crackpots minded their own business until the bigwig from Absalom, a living god and all, proclaimed they were worshipping oglins. Drove him off, set fire to their shrines. They turfed him out of the country, which was fine by me. He would have started hounding someone else. Mark my words. I hate to break this to you, buddy, but that was Discari, the demon lord of Locusts. He's the one who conquered your country. We're currently waging a war against him. Did he? So Eridan was right after all? You don't say. And we called him every name under the sun. Ulbrig scratches the back of his head. But no, he must have taken against him for a reason. If that Lord of Weevils was so nasty, why didn't Eridan put an end to him along with his cult? So much for being a living god. He came here, made a mess, didn't finish what he started, and skipped back to Absalom in time for tea. That's no way to do a job now, is it? No, it's not. Ha! Right. So, what do we do now? Not much to do, is there? The ones who did this to my kin are long gone. We won't be able to handle it alone. Ulbrig's fingers plunge into his beard. So that's that. This is serious business. We need help. Let's head on up to the Stones of Voices. In an hour, the whole of Sargeras will know of this slaughter. They won't be able to hide from an entire country. Come on. Oh, okay. Sure, yeah. I'm sure that'll work out exactly how you think it will. Let me just clean this place up a little first, out of respect for the deceased. Oh, what's happening? Oh, animated weapons. That's cool. I mean, obviously, nothing all that outlandish compared to what we've seen before, but it is something we haven't seen before. And we're good. Oh my goodness, that is a +5 composite longbow. +6 in our hands. I don't think it was supposed to drop that. I feel like that might be an oversight. I mean, don't get me wrong. Not having unique abilities is a bit of a bummer, but +6 to hit and damage is still really solid. Man, I wish I'd upgraded Mythic Arcana. Then these things would have some secondary abilities, too. So, where do we go from here? The bag back there is the ghost corpse. Oh, wait, right here. Of course. Almost completely overlooked that side path. Wow. Hi? Sure, why not? You seem to have disarmed a trap of some sort. Elementally, my dear Watson. I'm guessing that prevented the elementals from attacking us?
Careful now.
Though we do still have to be very careful not to accidentally click on one of these guys.
Pretty good, aren't I?
This rushing river, known as the Frigid River, used to be the beating heart of the entire settlement, and fishing was the primary trade of the local residents. Excuse me. Thank you. Emerald. Nice. Glasses. Mask of the Rapid Bites. Whenever the wearer of this mask hits an enemy with a bite attack for the first time in a round, they immediately make another bite attack with a full attack bonus. That is fantastic for our party. Oh man, who would we even give that to, though? That's... No, wait, that's glasses, not head. Oh crap, so... Shoot, so our animal companions actually can't use this because they don't have glasses slots. Man, that is a shame. That would have been fantastic on Kaz or helpful. I guess we could still give it to Vex. Between Aspect of the Wolf and Ember's thing, he will commonly have a bite attack once we really start getting serious. It looks like the spirit is leading us to the Stone of Voices. A good sign. Is it? I mean, I'll take your word on that. Fell the tree. Oh, I see. I did not think it was tall enough for that.
Here it is, look! The Stone of Voices, and scarcely a mark on it. Now I'll find out what's going on here. I'll call the tribes from all over Sarkoris. They'll see the spirits, and together we'll work out what kind of scoundrel is behind all this. We'll find them, catch them, and rip their head off.
Ulbrig rubs his hands, and a smile once again dawns on his face. Sounds good, I guess. So what am I looking at here? What is this thing?
I already told you, it's a Stone of Voices. What's unclear about that? Or aren't your ears working? A magic stone. Stones like these can be found all over the country. Druids and other folks who communicate with spirits use these stones to send messages to each other. If there's anyone left alive in all Sarkoris, I'll get an answer through this.
I mean, Ulbrig, buddy, you know where this is going, right? I keep telling you, there is no one else left out there.
Enough of your lies! A whole country perished just like that? Not possible.
I mean, it wasn't just like that. It took a few decades, but yeah, they're gone. Okay, well, what about that wolf? What's up with that?
A spirit, most likely, or else someone sent us a vision. I don't know what it means, but it's a good sign. Someone wanted to talk to us, so they called us to the stone. Looks like not everyone in Sarkoris perished after all, huh?
Well, all right. Don't let me stop you, by all means. Knock yourself out.
I like to see somebody try.
Smiling triumphantly, Ulbrig walks up to the stone and presses his hand against it. Nothing happens.
Hold on. Something's not quite right here. Now, let's see.
Frowning, Ulbrig traces his fingers over the runes, but all he manages to elicit is a weak, barely visible shimmer deep in the grooves of the stone's carvings. A minute passes in tense silence, then another. Finally, Ulbrig removes his hand from the stone. Talk to me, buddy.
I feel nothing. There's no one there. They're gone. They're all gone. In all of Sarkoris, there's not a single living voice. How can this be?
Ulbrig slowly shakes his head, struggling to believe his own words.
My country is gone. My clan is dead. My god does not speak to me. My time has been and gone 100 years past. Who am I now? Who in the world has need of me now?
Digging his fingers into his mane of red hair, Ulbrig stares unseeing at the lowering sky. Weapons at the ready! Some foul beast is flying this way!
What are filthy crusaders seeking here? Have you led these people here to feed them to me? Commendable.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I am your doom. I am the one who will feast on your remains.
Yeah, you're welcome to try, but somehow I don't see things playing out that way.
My master has sent me to block your path. Your path to a place that's off limits to the curious.
Your master, huh? Anyone I know?
So many unnecessary questions. What for? You're never going to need that knowledge.
Yeah, fair enough. Figured it was worth a shot. I'm gonna kill you now.
How brave! I enjoy killing brave prey. Is that half-dead pile of fur still baring her teeth? Fine. She won't be able to save you forever.
Oh no, 2 Vermleks and a Brimmerak. What will I do? Cute. Oh, hey, hello. And they've drawn blood. Good for them. Still not much of a challenge, but they hurt us. That's something. Slightly awkward because we can't actually target them yet. Stop that.
They better start running.
cover me, all right?
Retreat is not an option.
Oh, wow, okay. We might actually have a fight here. How many more waves are they throwing at us?
Clawing time.
Nice. Sorry guys, greater enduring protection from evil. Part of our standard buff set.
I will see to your demise.
Pardon me. Oh, hi there. I didn't even notice you back there. Yeah, thanks for that. Jerk.
I welcome your company.
That was a fun little fight. Obviously not much of a challenge for us at our current level, but we did get a glimpse at a much greater threat that no doubt awaits us further in. That said, we are just past time, so I feel like this is a good place to call it. This feels like a pretty natural stopping point anyway, what with the big reveals and all. I will say, again, I'm very much enjoying this DLC. I think it's one of their strongest ones yet. The map, the dungeon location is pretty well put together. The story is intriguing. I like Ulbrig as a companion. And obviously it's nice to see some new foes popping up, too. Whatever the heck that thing we just ran into was, for example. Really looking forward to seeing more. So we'll hit the pause button for now. I will make sure we're in good shape to continue, which I think we are. And we'll pick up here next time as we continue following Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Dragon Matrix 7, Mathew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Drakiith, Theory V23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
I like to see somebody try.